Now, a reminder for you of what we know so far about flight MH17. 298 passengers and crew were on board that flight, which departed from Amsterdam on Thursday. The attack claimed the lives of 37 Australian citizens and residents. 6 delegates to the Melbourne AIDS 2014 conference were also on board that flight.
A pro-Russian separatist leader said the plane's black boxes have been found and taken to the eastern Ukrainian city of Donetsk. Malaysia Airlines have also announced they'll now retire code MH17 as a mark of respect.
Almost 200 bodies have now been removed from the site. They've been loaded onto refrigerated rail wagons, but just where they are going to go is a matter of speculation at this stage, and actually a matter that's concerning the international community because of the lack of security around those bodies that have been taken, but also the ones that might still be lying in those fields. Joe Siracusa is an expert in global security at RMIT University, a great friend of our program, and he joins us now in the studio. Joe Siracusa, good morning.
Good morning.
When we spoke last Friday, we were just in the early hours of this almost unbelievable tragedy. Looking at what you have over the last few days, the international response and also the way that the armed separatists have held firm over what they clearly see is their turf. How do you see this playing out now?
Well, they are in charge of their turf. There's not much we can do about it. Actually, a number of things have played out since last week. The most important thing is that crash site is now worthless. It has been looted, souvenired, and I wouldn't doubt if some of that stuff starts appearing on eBay. I mean, these people, that's a war zone. And it's just useless now to insist on going back there and putting out the grid. It's all gone. Bodies are in a refrigerated thing. We don't know much more about who shot it down. We got the U.S. intelligence and analyst agencies have figured out what's in an 18-mile area. It could have been brought down by the missile system of the Russians, the Ukrainians, or the pro-Russian separatists. Now, they all have the same system. They were all trained with the same system. I'm sure there was Russian complicity. You imagine if the Russians had lent these guys a tactical nuclear weapon to take out a Ukrainian army that was about to surround them. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. On the other hand, Putin knows there isn't a damn thing we can do about it. He knows we're very sentimental about having this kind of inquiry. But, you know, the President of the United States is the only guy who can force the issue. The Europeans aren't going to do a damn thing unless the President of the United States does something. And the President has got ISIS militants on his hands. The Middle East is breaking up. We got 1 million people who are refugees in Syria. We got incredible death tolls there. We got Libya is breaking up. And we got the nuclear negotiations with Iran, which were extended on Sunday for another 4 months, which depends on Putin's being there, as a matter of fact. So
he holds a trump card in this, Vladimir Putin, doesn't he? And Obama very dependent on him.
Well, Obama grew up in Hawaii surfing. Putin grew up as a KGB colonel. I mean, we're talking about apples and oranges here. Putin knows exactly there's nothing we can do about it. And we can go to New York and we can go to Washington and we can jump up and down. But Putin isn't going to give us a damn thing he doesn't want to give us because he knows that we need him on these other issues. You know, I think one of the culprits here, of course, I believe in complicity. I mean, my God, Malaysian Airlines flew over a war zone. Now, half the airlines in the world were giving that place a swerve, and they went right over the war zone. I mean, what were they thinking? I mean, there's plenty of blame to go around. But this insistence on going there and taking over the crime scene, it's a waste of time now because it's been so compromised. I mean, your reporters were touching things, as a matter of fact. And the body parts, we don't even know if the heads and the feet match in these refrigerated things. They picked up body parts. And a lot of people just disintegrated. So getting to that crash scene isn't going to prove anything. We know that a missile took it down. We don't know who took it down. Now there are some intercepts where you have rebels bragging. But I'll tell you what, I've been fooled by weapons of mass destruction tapes once before. So I'd want to see the chain of evidence on that kind of thing.
Where does this leave relations between Putin and the West going forward? Further fractured? Are we going to see hostilities increase even further?
Well, this thing could spin out of control. 100 years ago, when some Serbian national killed the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the Austrians insisted on sending a team down there and gathering evidence and forcing the Serbs to cough up people. Well, this isn't going to happen. And if there's an investigation, it's going to be very superficial. It's going to cost a lot of money and time, and we're not going to know any more then than we don't know now, which was a missile took that plane out of the sky.
And there clearly won't be any international intervention or loud opinions being voiced on that conflict in particular at the border there between Russia and Ukraine. That's almost going to roll on exactly as it has been right up into this dreadful tragedy.
The Europeans are paralyzed. They don't know what to do about this. And
as you say, America has so many other things on its plate. plate as well.
America's got these other things, and President Obama doesn't want to go out with any kind of semi-war on his hands. So he's being very practical about this. But you imagine he wakes up this morning, and we now got a full-scale invasion of Gaza. We got all these civilians being killed, and God knows how many are killed with American weapons. By the way, America is still the world's great weapons supplier. So there's this double standard that people see in the world. Gee, we're really worried about the Russians killing people with their weapons, but the Americans and the French and the British, they make weapons that kill other people, but no one seems to care about that. So, the international community isn't as kind to us as you might think. But the important thing here is that the global implications here. Ukraine now is a global problem. It was always our problem, but it wasn't a problem until Australians got killed. Now it's our problem. We can see that it was our problem. So the Ukrainians can't believe their luck because they're able to get this magnifying glass on their problem, and they're showing everyone what's happening. So in a sense, we're dragged into that. But, you got all these things that are connected, the Iranian nuclear talks, the Gaza, Ukraine, and then you got ISIS militants. I mean, these are all connected together, and we need the great powers. We need those 5 nations on at the United Nations to agree to some kind of resolution. So they're not going to be spending too much time sending a team down there. As I recall, the last Australian team looking for a plane couldn't find it. So, we're still looking for that one, too.
Not necessarily the Australian team's fault.
No, but you see, the point is, it's hopeless. When you get to this situation where the plane's down in a crevasse in the ocean, or it's all splintered all over the place, and there's nothing left. I mean, we're talking about, what we're doing now is an important gesture to the dignity and respect of the victims. I mean, that's what this is all about. And in the West, we have a little higher value about death than they might have in other parts of the world.
Joe, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks for your views.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.